Amigos e fãs, sejam bem-vindos ao canal Minhas. Já vou deixar avisado que as lives acontecem de segunda a sexta na Twitch, Mixer e no Facebook, é tudo /MidinBR, conforme aqui no YouTube. Então já deixa aquele like top, compartilha o vídeo e confira essa play irada que rolou por lá.
Those board goons kidnapped Mr. Phineas and hauled him away to Tartarus. How are we gonna get him out?
I never got to know Doc Wells. We ain't friends or crew. But he's still one of us. He's the reason the boss is up and walking right now. We can't just leave him to die in Tartarus.
É, isso que eu quero
To
fazer.
extract the scientist, you will need to infiltrate the labyrinth. But that course of action is likely to be quite dangerous, Captain.
Captain, come on. Even I've heard of the biggest prison the colony's ever seen. And on some occasions, I literally live under rocks.
Still, we can't do nothing. It wouldn't be right.
The armed surveillance protocols on a maximum security prison planet are highly sophisticated. As such, escapes are historically quite impossible and deadly.
Será que eu tento
I
isso?
am programmed to warn you whenever you exhibit inclinations toward risky behavior. Breaking into Tartarus will not be easy.
Mas eu não tenho furtividade.
Let's just do it. Kick down some doors, grab Doc Wells, and cut a path out. We don't need a plan. We got guns.
If you really mean to do this, you should see to your final affairs and close out any unfinished business. Once you sneak into Tartarus, you may be there a while.
Então deve ser a última
but
missão.
permanently.
Bora.
Got my trusty tossball stick. Got my ass-kicking boots. I'm ready, boss.
Demorou.
Outstanding.
You can count on us, Captain. We're crew. For real crew. That means we got each other's backs.
Show de bola.
Right.
Command not recognized.
Waiting on your command, Captain.
eu vou embora. E eu vou levar quem? Eu vou levar a Nyoka, que eu gosto do poder dela. A Parvati tá com dano bom e o Sam tá com quanto de dano? 1100 e pouco. Eu vou levar o Sam e a Nyoka. Partiu quase a última missão, né? Cadê Tártaro? Não fui pro limpo ainda, né? Eu não achei. Eu não tive permissão pra vir aqui ainda, não achei. Tifão também. Caraca. Tifão não tem nada a oferecer à colônia Bonança. Inabitável. Isso daqui então acho que não pode ir mesmo. Se presta a atacar o labirintato, isso determinará o destino da colônia Bonança. Caso eu queira fazer algo antes, se eu quiser fechar alguma missão secundária, blá blá blá. Sim. Novo jogo.
I am pleased to inform you that we have arrived
Ai,
at the
ai,
labyrinth.
agora vai ser difícil.
Please be advised that the punishment for trespassing. Please be advised that electrical storms on the surface of Tartarus make departure impossible at this time. Resident
Fracassei um
count
monte
is
de
as
missão ali.
follows.
Missão.
3071. Resident deaths.
Número de fuga,
including but not
0.
limited to execution. The interior can be chilly.
Leva um caixa.
I would also ask that you I can make the assurance that I will not leave with another captain. Oh, speak of the devil. Captain.
Attention, unauthorized spacecraft. This is a maximum security installation. Your presence here is an explicit violation
Tá ligado.
of EL Corp.
Mas eu vou.
You are hereby confined to your docking platform until a ticket detailing your crimes has been filed and notarized.
E aí, Júlio?
I'm sorry, you people? You're up to...
Aqui vai rolar porradaria mesmo. Intimidar ou persuadir? Vou persuadir.
All right. I'm feeling generous. I'm transmitting the idea of a productive, law-abiding employee, so you
Faz o
can
menor
see what
sentido.
one looks like before you die. Anyway, Tartar Stalking Authority signing up. Hang on. Wait, is that from the Groundbreaker? What the?
Transmission terminated. Biometric ID received.
Eu ganhei um cartucho.
Transferring data to external cartridge. How can I be? I'll be here.
Beleza, vamos acabar com isso. Tá certo. Ah, eu poderia ter mais 2 amigos. Eu não achei. Tudo de novo. As armas deu certo. Eu desmonto essa porcaria aqui. Olha que eu tô com 3 armas de energia, né? Isso não é bom.
Cycle complete.
Groundbreaker doesn't need trash like you. Put him down. Bring him down. Somebody toss this
Tá bom.
garbage out the airlock.
Pela porta da frente mesmo agora.
Keen on walking into a prison. They lock me up, I'm liable to kill everyone trying to get back out.
Area sanitization assessment. The labyrinth on Tartarus. Task classification. Easy peasy.
Com robofobia ainda, velho. Beleza.
We have a lot of shooting.
Entering.
Vou ter que ser um pouco mais consciente.
Toxin neutralized.
Tá só um pouco só.
Sanitization incoming.
Tem um cara aqui, ó. Beleza, vambora.
Clean cycle up to industrial stain.
Ó, te falar que tô indo e tô chegando onde eu quero chegar. A galera é bem burra mesmo. Quero vender. Vender lixo. Cadê a pontinha? Senhor, ai. Silenciador, vai embora. Não quero isso. Tô usando pra porra nenhuma, nunca usei. Pô, 54. Vou botar pra mim. Armadura minha 42. Tem um 63. Vou trocar. Ela tá com 57 e 43. Proteção contra físico. Proteção contra plasma. Isso aqui. Isso aqui é o quê? Tá bom, bota esse aí, só tem esse mesmo. Diálogo e liderança mais 5. Do bandido. Arma branca não. Arma de longo alcance mais 5. Tecnologia mais 5. Vou botar tecnologia. Isso aqui. Objetos. Volume dos passos. Capacidade de carga. Vou botar capacidade de carga. Se bem que... Vou botar... Peraí. Esse vale 25, esse aqui vale 50. Tá. Fiz as modificações. Vou ajustar agora. Um pouco, né? Porque o começo é barato. Já foi o máximo. Pô, show de bola, velho. Valeu a pena pra caralho. Esses velhos nos tracou muito ruim, velho. Quatro. Tá de brincadeira comigo? 49. Que nem tem nada. Que bad, hein? Eu posso comprar um monte de bala, né? Gastar quinhentão. Deixa eu ver como é que eu tô. Munição. 3.000. Eu tô usando, ó, 3 de energia, que não é o ideal. E uma leve. Vou comprar a leve dele também. Que é isso? Todos eles têm munição? Tem. Acabou. Vamos. O poço. Vamos salvar o velhinho. Gente pra caramba aqui. 5 andares. Eu tô no último. Pega essa porcaria aqui, vai. Acessar manifesto. Continuar, acessar registro de arquitetura. Achei que fosse dar pra hackear alguma coisa aqui. Pena. Falou, putos. Encontre o caminho, Tartar, e confronte a pessoa que dirige. É isso que eu tenho que fazer.
Get in there, troops. For Monarch. For Halcyon.
Eu vou aqui em cima. Tem um painelzinho aqui, ó. Tem não. Eita, ferrei tudo então. Não tem não. Esse é amigo. Dá um teco no amigo. Tem mais recoil que o Apex, velho. Foda-se. Essa chamas é legal.
Coming, Captain. That's the last of them.
You get tired of patrolling?
Desculpa, moço.
Substance is resistant to cleaning efforts. Performance evaluation is sterling.
Tô adorando essa arma, velho. Não é por aqui. Remover lacre da porta. Ah, o jogo crashou. Não dá dano, ó. Eita. Morreu o presidente. Tomando em pé de novo. Espero que não bugue quando eu entrar na sala. Tive que matar o presidente, então. Essa foi a solução. Eu matei o presidente, velho. Rockwell.
fuss is about a blasted lab coat.
Fugitive's a fugitive. Let it go.
The chairman...
Consigo andar 20 e poucos metros.
Looking good, soldier.
Esse manto é muito bom, velho.
Difficult job ahead? Consider equipping a pack of Sam's special solvent stain out remover. It's ruthless on residual blood splatter.
Take a breath now. Once we're up there,
Caramba.
suspect we ain't gonna have time to stop shooting.
Captain,
Olha ela aí.
you have an uncanny talent for complicating my life.
De nada. Olha o cara ali
You've been
atrás,
working
ó.
with Dr. Wells from the beginning.
Sim.
When we moved to arrest him, he was prepared. I lost good soldiers in the attempt. You've disrupted the balance of power. You've upset the natural order of things. You've introduced uncertainty, and there is nothing I despise more than uncertainty.
Tá bom.
Do you imagine you're leading some grand revolutionary army? Those barbarians from Monarch are running wild in my prison. I suppose I have you to thank for this indignity. You're nothing but a rabble-rouser.
Interessante que eu posso jogar esse jogo novamente fazendo todas as ações contrárias.
You make a nuanced and compelling argument. Dr. Wells is being held in my custody.
Tá bom.
All that's left to do is put down this riot, arrest you, and then get... Fair enough.
Nossa, eu precisava disso tudo aqui.
Yes, I'm quite aware of your brazen act of corporate vandalism. My scientists assure me they can recover the data you've destroyed.
Tá. Bom, vou de ciência.
That isn't true. It can't. That experiment was absolutely essential. Damn you.
Usar percepção.
You are telling the truth. My scientists have been lying to me, and I was stupid enough to trust them at their word.
Você pode se juntar a
I'm
mim.
gonna have to start all over again. You were always an unknown variable.
Puta que pariu, não tem as coisas, velho.
This prison is
Pena.
equipped with an automechanical warden. I've had it programmed to eliminate you on sight and don't worry.
Vai ter um chefão. Deixa eu dar uma olhada aqui. Tá. Não posso fazer nada. Ferrou, galera. Ferrou demais.
Sanitization incoming.
Tem que atirar naquele negócio ali, vocês viram, né? Bem claro. Falta eu. Eles morrem muito rápido. Muito rápido, né? Não tô entendendo direito o que tem que fazer. Explode, chega. Droga. Meu papai do céu. Fugiu. Beleza, foi o inimigo mais difícil até agora. Não foi muito difícil, mas foi o mais difícil. Meus dois amigos não duraram um segundo, vocês viram, né? Agora, continuando nossa missão. Tá com cara que eu não vou falar com a Sofia, hein? Subir ainda de nível. Foda. Botar em arma. Pequeno. Tá tudo aqui mesmo. Eita, me dá um talento. Show de bola, agora que já lidou com Sofia, liberte Minhas. Não sei se isso tá certo não, moço, mas é o que estamos fazendo.
You don't know how glad I am to see you. You did the right thing. Akande was a monster. Her death was much deserved and long overdue.
Tá bom.
And you lunatic, you broke into the board's own fortress just to rescue one doddering old man. You are absolutely out of your mind, and I can't begin to thank you enough. I'm all right, thanks to you. Akande wanted my cooperation. You've broken the board's stranglehold on this colony, and you saved my life.
Que bom.
There's still so much we have yet to accomplish. You and I are going to have to work harder than ever to save
Tá,
Halcyon.
então não.
I'm afraid the situation is far worse than any of us ever.
Não era o fim do jogo ainda não. Ótimo, mas eu estava pronto
I
pra isso
would
aí.
like nothing more than to celebrate this victory.
Tá, então
but
não
we have a
estamos.
serious problem on our... Earth has gone dark. We haven't received a single message in
Nossa,
3
vamos pra
years.
Monarca
There's
então.
been no communication, no... 2 years ago, the Earth's Directorate's frigate disappeared on their way back to Earth. We don't know what they discovered.
So we've got to make do on our own. Seems to me that'll make us stronger in the end anyhow.
Vai ter muito mais
You're quite
coisa
right.
ainda.
We've got no choice but to make do on our own. We're in serious trouble, my friend. Do you know what this means for Halcyon? We can't rely on Earth for support anymore. We've been cut loose. We're entirely on our own. Yes, we do. You've done a marvelous thing. You've succeeded where anyone else would. We must begin the revival process immediately, starting with the Hope's brightest minds. And then we're going to fix this damn colony, one problem at a time.
Espero que dê certo.
We're going to need a leader, and I can't imagine a better person for...
Sou eu.
I can't... When I revived you, I thought we were going to save this colony. We can't save Halcyon on our own. We're all going to have to pull together somehow.
Interessante, né? Porque geralmente é sempre herói.
Our last connection to Earth has been severed. I don't know if we'll survive, but we're going to have to try our best.
Tá bom. Eita porra, que isso?
The OSI teaches that everything
E acabou o jogo.
happens according to the grand plan. But the stranger that arrived in Halcyon was an unplanned variable. From the moment she landed in Emerald Vale, her actions altered the course of history.
Acabou, zeramos.
The events on Tartarus brought about the end of the board's authority. But the board's mistakes would haunt the colony for decades to come. The damage they left behind would require the work of a generation to repair. Dr. Phineas Wells began reviving a handful of the Hope's colonists. Engineers, scientists, technicians,
Vamos ver
and
se o
intellectuals.
que eu fiz deu certo, né?
They were among the brightest minds the Earth had ever sent out into the stars. The Hope scientists and engineers woke up in a colony descending headlong into total collapse. With no way to return to Earth, they had no choice but to band together and devote themselves to the cause of saving Halcyon.
Tá bom.
The people of Halcyon were nothing if not hardy. In the absence of the board's authority, many of the colony's settlements banded together with a single purpose in mind: survival. Life was especially hard in the years to come. Some towns dissolved by attrition and starvation, but most of them found a way to carry on. In the years to come, Halcyon was forced to reckon with its newfound freedom. The board was gone, and for better or worse, the colony was responsible for its own destiny. As the colony struggled to survive, the inspirational story of the iconoclasts spread like wildfire, and Graham was able to bring many of the smaller Terra 2 townships into the fold.
Legal.
However, his zealous obsession with spreading the word blinded him to the needs of a growing organization, and the movement was unsustainable at scale.
Olha só.
The iconoclast way seemed to work best, and ultimately petered out on Monarch.
Caraca.
Sublight Salvage adapted to the changes in Halcyon, shifting their business model to suit the times. Their claims of legitimacy were scrutinized.
Eu nem fiz missão do Sublight.
Unquestioned. Lilia Hagen would continue to protect her family as ruthlessly as ever. The collapse of Edgewater left its workers bereft of any purpose in life. Most of them made their way
O do
to
Graham,
Adelaide,
então, foi erro.
hoping to ingratiate themselves into her favor. Adelaide accepted only a few to her community. The rest were turned away and likely died of starvation.
Legal, da Adelaide, então,
Adelaide's camp grew into a well-established
foi acerto.
Adelaide McDevitt refused to cooperate with the ongoing effort to save Halcyon from collapse. A sympathetic deserter stole a copy of her research and delivered it to the Hope's scientists. It is unclear how useful Adelaide's research was. An optimistic estimate suggests her work may have bought Halcyon another few years of survival. Adelaide would never know. She died that winter.
Novela das
Under
Oito.
the leadership of Junlei Tennyson, the Groundbreaker held firm against corporate influence. The ship's mechanical stability gave Junlei the time to educate a promising generation of engineers, schooled in her family's traditions.
Beleza, Vanguarda foi
The
bom.
future of the Groundbreaker looks promising. The rediscovery of the Hope and the abandonment of the Lifetime Employment Program forced Byzantium to come to terms with some uncomfortable realities about the state of Halcyon. While Byzantines were reluctant to surrender the luxuries they'd grown accustomed to, the board's diminished authority gave them little choice in the matter. nearly everyone had to learn to make do with less. Some even had to get jobs. It was a dark time indeed. Life in Halcyon was sobering for Felix Millstone. The grand revolution he dreamed of never came. There was no great awakening for the colony, no celebrations in the streets. There was only the hard, desperate work of trying to repair a broken colony. Felix never had a head for numbers, but if there was labor to be done, he was there to help. Eventually, Felix realized that the work of a revolution was done with two hands.
Eu não estendi muito
Though Parvati eventually
as
grew
missões do
comfortable
Felix.
aboard the Unreliable, she never quite came out of her shell. She seemed to prefer the company of Ada to the crew, and she could often be found neck-deep in cables and grease, telling Ada funny stories.
Acho que essa daí gostaria de ficar com a Junlin,
While the colony fell
da
into
vanguarda.
chaos, she found an island of relative peace with Ada, and they formed an unusual bond.
Que loucura.
She decided to remain aboard the Unreliable permanently as its chief and sole engineer. As hard as she tried to drink them away, Nyoka's memories eventually overcame her. Traveling with the crew served as a constant reminder of the family she'd lost, and so she eventually returned to Monarch to get back to what she found most comfortable, the deep end of a bottle and the far end of a trail. Few have seen her since, but travelers often swear they hear her and her machine gun in the night.
É, tem que desenvolver a história
screaming
dos
swears
personagens.
and spitting bullets.
Esses finais serem
The
felizes.
SAM unit that accompanied you spread awareness of the product line's superior sanitation and maintenance capabilities across what was left of the colony. This led to a boost in SAM unit sales. Did you know that SAM units are the longest-lasting, toughest-acting cleaning solution in Halcyon? Minister Clark was released from house arrest,
Isso.
and his contact with you gave him a sense of renewed purpose and vigor.
Legal.
Once it became clear that no help would be coming from Earth, he threw his considerable efforts and talents into helping Halcyon manage the crisis before it.
Ótimo.
As for Dr. Phineas Wells, he spent his remaining years in his orbital lab. Though he was always haunted by the failures of his past, he was determined to make things right by building toward the future.
Acho que era o certo,
Dr.
então.
Wells was able to revive many more scientists and engineers than he first expected, thanks to the additional batch of chemicals
então,
he
ó,
stole from the ministry.
fazia diferença roubar 100%.
Wells never forgot about the human lives that were lost in acquiring these chemicals. The revival project was hard and painful work, but in the end, despite limited resources, over half the Hope's colonists were successfully revived. Even after Wells passed away, the Hope's
Todo mundo é,
scientists and
cara.
engineers worked night and day to pull Halcyon from the brink of collapse. Their efforts continue to this day, which may be reason enough for optimism.
Legal,
Dr.
ele não
Wells
era só
laid the
maluco.
groundwork for the project to save the colony, but he would never live to see the fruits of his
Oh,
labor.
que bad.
He passed away a few years later. His work was carried on by the scientists and engineers he revived. Life will never be the same in Halcyon. It is widely agreed that the colony has a chance of stabilizing within a generation, owing to the hard work and determination
Pô,
of
uma
the
geração
surviving
muito
colonists.
pouco. Que bom.
Recovery is a distant goal, and the path is long and uncertain. But the people of Halcyon carry on, determined as ever. And what about you, the unplanned variable in the history of Halcyon? Long after Wells passed away, you carried on his work with more energy, determination, and brilliance than he could ever muster. The years that followed were hard, but Halcyon survived by the efforts of the Hope's most promising colonists, the greatest of which
Maior
was
de
you.
todos. Sou eu mesmo.
No one knows what's happened to Earth, and no one knows what the future has in store for Halcyon. All we know for certain is this: the name of the Unreliable and that of its intrepid captain will remain the subject of countless stories for years to come.
Acabou. Gostei do joguinho. Achei bem divertido.